Good afternoon and welcome. I'm Nancy Utek, the Program Director for the Fort Bend County Master Gardeners. Thank you for joining us for the Landscape Success online program. This program was created by the Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Service in Fort Bend County, along with the Fort Bend County Master Gardeners, to help you create and maintain beautiful home landscapes. We've got a great program lined up for you today. Flowering plants for 4 seasons. All registrants will receive a follow-up email with a recording of the class, as well as all links to websites or resources our presenter may refer to today. A QR code will also be included in the follow-up email, as well as at the end of the presentation. Please be sure to fill out the survey as we use your feedback to prepare and improve our classes. If you have any questions during the class, please enter them in the group chat. Questions will be answered either during the presentation or at the end of class. Today, I have the pleasure of welcoming our presenter, Fort Bend Master Gardener, Suma Mooden. Suma earned her certification as a Fort Bend Master Gardener in 2014. She has since also earned an advanced trained certification in Texas Superstars. Suma is a passionate gardener. She moved here from the East Coast and became a master gardener to learn about Southern gardening. She decided to quit her law practice to pursue her passions in gardening, teaching yoga, and wellness coaching. Her passions have also led her become a garden designer, and she loves to find unique and native plants for her clients. Her other hobbies include world travel, sharing and educating about essential oils for health, teaching yoga for specific ailments, and pursuing all things beautiful for wellness. She believes in the adage, self-care is the best health care. We're very excited to have Suma here today. So Suma, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Nancy. Thank you, Susan. And welcome everybody. Today is a great day. It's cloudy and maybe it's raining. So it's a good day to sit in front of the computer and listen to something that's so exciting as flowers. And we'll get started. So maybe some of you have heard me before. Some of you have seen this presentation before. And like Nancy said, if you have questions during my talk, you can put it in the chat. And every once in a while, I'll be able to answer them. And also at the end of the class, you will have the opportunity to unmute yourself, ask any specific questions you have, and we will answer to the best of our knowledge. And the Susan and Nancy will also put some links in the chat. So you're welcome to take a photo of any links, but you will also get the recording so you can revise as many times as you want and get go from there. Thanks again for joining all of us today. So getting started. Um, so flowers are the most, I think, one of the most popular topics in gardening, any kind of flowers and anything to do with flowers. We have other classes in landscape success. Everything is important for a home gardener. But this one, this is very close to my heart, to my passion, because I believe that we can have flowers all through the year. Especially, that's one of the reasons we moved here from the snow belt, because I wanted to garden all through the year, and now I can do that. And I'll show you how to do that for yourselves also. So Texas A&M has two like fundamental programs that are very geared towards sustainable gardening. The first one is Earthkind Landscaping. Maybe you heard one of our fellow gardeners, Peggy, talk about Earthkind Landscaping. So Earthkind touches upon the landscaping principles on how to create a sustainable, renewing landscape. Like it talks about good irrigation principles, good soil principles, and all that. So the second one, the second program that we have is the Texas Superstars. So once Earthkind gives you the basic floor plan of how to develop your home landscape, then you need to know how to pick the right plants for the right place, right season, and all that. So there we get into Texas Superstars, which is my specialty. So Texas is, as we all know, is a huge state. It's the size of several countries. So it goes 1,000 miles across. And so we have several growing zones as well. If some of you may be familiar, we have been rezoned to 9A from 9B or 9B, whatever. So we are warmer, I guess. But all the freezes are saying some other story. So the zone six is on like very top, and the zone 10, almost 10 is at the bottom. So in between, we have all these growing zones from cold, snow to very, very hot. And these superstar plants are tested in all these zones. And it doesn't mean that they will do exactly the same way in all the zones. If they are perennial for us, like if they come back every year for us in our zone, they may be annual in maybe zone 7, zone 8 in Texas, but they will still do extremely well. So that is why they are called superstars. They're hardy, they're tolerant of our hot and dry summers, and one of the main criterion for Texas superstars is they are disease and insect resistant. So if I'm going too fast or if something is not clear enough, please put it in the chat and one of them will unmute and run it by them. Okay. So in a way, EarthKind program and Texas Superstar plants, they both work in tandem. They are two very good programs to follow for your home gardens, and they also they form a cohesive partnership, and they help us uh, with success in our home gardens. So it is not only for the home gardener but also for a professional landscaper. These two programs help. So I'll just give you a little background of perennials. So perennials are plants that come back every year, year after year, either from roots or they sometimes they may be evergreen, or they may come back from the old branches. So there are various plants that behave in various ways. But these perennials, we need to spend our money on these things. The rest of the things are our playground. You can add many plants, in addition to the perennials, but you always want to have these perennials as the backbone of your gardens, because you always like need to have something growing, flowering throughout. So I'm not saying it's very easy to have color all 4 seasons, but it is definitely doable. And spring is the most easiest season, and we all have the spring fever. We go to nurseries and we get sucked into buying plants. But in the like in July and August, when you go into the garden, you may feel really disheartened, because you may see a lot of dead plants, not dead actually, but brown, because they are like, stressed out with the heat. And also in the winter, when it is like 30 degrees outside, you may not see much, but you will learn how to have flowers even in these seasons. So all you need to know is have access to these two websites, Earthkind and Texas Superstar, and you can find all the tools you need. You can select the right plants for your location. We are in Fort Bend County, but you can put your zip code and it'll pull up the right plants. And for the season, whichever season you want the plant for, and also the growth habit. We'll talk more about it. So unfortunately, the website is not working today. We all tried several times, but I'll walk you through the slides, and you will get the slides, and maybe they already put the link in the chat for the Earthkind plant selector. So this is the AgriLife Research A&M System AgriLife Extension website, and you can see the Earthkind Landscaping tab here. So you go there and you can see the Earthkind plant selector. This is a very, very good tool for you to play with when you are planning your garden. And then, like I mentioned, see, now you can see the zones. So H is the hottest and A is the coldest. And we are in F. So where we are like, most of the times it's a good growing season. So the Texas superstar plants grow in all these zones. So now you can search by your zip code or search by a region. You can say Fort Bend County or whichever county, and then you can add more filters. So one caveat is, okay, so this is the filter screen. So one caveat I have for you is the more filters you put, the fewer results you will get because you're putting a lot of restrictions on, you're becoming more and more specific. So try to be a little more broader when you're searching for plants, and then you'll get more results. So you don't have to do the common name, but you can do the growth habit, like is this a tree, a shrub, or a bush, whatever. And exposure, are you looking for sun, partial sun, or shade? And then this flower color will be very restrictive. So, but you can try. If you don't get many results, you can, don't need to do that. Bloom period is very important. So if you are, now we are in spring, it's already late to plan for spring. If you are doing it from seeds, of course, you can go to the nurseries and do it. So you can still search for spring. But if you're searching for summer, fall, winter, you have head start. So you can do that. And leaf character, again, I say it's very, very restrictive. But you can, if you are really looking for evergreen, you can do that and see what comes up. And then you can click on generate quick list. So you will get, so this is the list you will get, whatever you put. So here, if you see, the only criterion was the zip code. They didn't put anything else. So here is a list. Okay. So there are 223 because it was a very broad criteria. And um, we'll pick one plant to just get an idea. So that is Turk's Cap. So many of you may know Turk's Cap, may have Turk's Cap, and let's see what it says. So you'll first see the description of the plant, and it will tell you it is sun, partial sun, shade. It grows everywhere. It can a lot of different habits, and it grows up to 8 feet. And look at the earth kind index 10. It's like 1 to 10, it is 10. That means it has the highest rating. So we can get excited seeing this 10, but bear with me. So 10 also means you will be never able to kill the plant. So if you have this plant in your garden, it will be there always. So it's good and bad because it also shows up in other areas of your garden. It's very difficult to get rid of. But if you have problem areas in your garden, you have a maybe a ugly corner, that is the best place to put this plant. It grows rapidly, it gives you those flowers, and also the hummingbirds love these flowers. So there are a lot of good things. Of course, you also have to learn to deal with the way aggressively it grows, very big. So you need to give it the space to grow big and all that. And US hardiness zones 8 to 11. 11 means it's in the Gulf Coast. So Rio Grande Valley. So all this, it's all is good. And just keep in mind that this score tells you how tough it is. So now we come to Texas superstar plants. It's not as extensive as Earthkind because these plants have to do well in all these zones. And so this program has been going on for the last 40 years. It's a research-based program. So they started with looking at the wayside gardens, wayside plants. And also one of the main areas they looked at for superstar plants was cemeteries because there the plants grow without anybody's input. Nobody's caring for them. It's just the nature. So they don't get fertilizer, they don't get any kind of care, but they grow. So those are the plants they started with this program, and they tested in all those zones, and whichever did very well in all these zones, got the label Texas Superstar. So that's why you don't see that many plants, because it's a very tough testing criteria. But you will see all these plants, and every year they may introduce one or two plants. Again, not many, but now we have enough to choose for our gardens. And this is how the website looks. And again, you can go to the website, texassuperstars.com, and you can look at the plants. Each plant will have, let me see if I have that. Yeah. So each plant will have the details. It will tell you how much water usage. I have never seen any plant with three dots. Either it is one or two, mostly two, medium. And it also tells you whether it attracts pollinators. So if you are into pollinating gardens, you can pick those plants. And of course, I highly recommend, if you are into growing edible gardens like fruits or vegetables or whatever, you need to have pollinators. You need to plant pollinating plants near your edible gardens. So your work is reduced and they do all the job for you. So this is how. And it also tells you whether it is deer resistant. I think in Fort Bend County, it's not that much of a problem, but I hear more and more people talking about deer. In Northeast, it was always deer. Until I got a dog, the deer ate all my roses. But that's one deterrent, having a dog. But these plants also, some plants are deer resistant by nature, so you can look for those. And okay, any questions so far before we go into the seasons?
No questions so far, Suma.
Okay, good. Okay, so seasons, as we know, spring, summer, fall, winter, but they are not the same seasons here in Houston like the rest of the places. For example, spring actually for us is sometimes it's like late February, and some, like most of the times, early March and to late May, and sometimes the summer is like in April. So our seasons vary a little bit, and they are very different from other regions of the country. So keep this in mind when you are looking for plants. This is like just a ballpark of when our seasons are. More or less, the seasons are behaving this way. And so these are some of the basic guidelines. And you also need to look at the plant heights when you are planting. Since I'm a designer, you need to keep in mind what are the heights, growing habits and heights of the plants. So where should you plant it in the bed? Should you plant it in the back of the bed, middle of the bed, or the front of the bed? Where does the plant get its the right attention that it deserves? If you plant a tall plant in the front and short plants in the back, those plants will be masked by this tall plant. So keep that in mind. Also, keep in mind watering and light needs. Um, some plants may not need much water, like the desert plants. If you have any aroids or, um, like aloe vera, things like that, they don't need much water because they store water in their leaves. But some plants may need a lot of water. So when you're planting, keep that also in mind. Some plants may need full sun, or some may need part shade, and keep that in mind. Spacing. This is something that I messed with, and I'm sure like most of you have experienced it. When we start our garden, especially when you're doing a new bed, the bed is like open, it's empty, and we want to see it filled. And what we do is we try to fill it with a lot of plants. And the thing we forget is that these plants grow. And often they grow into each other because we don't give them enough space. And believe me, I did that. So instead of like going for the instant gratification of seeing a fully blooming bed, give it some time, plant the plants like little, give them some space. So when they grow, they have enough space and it still looks full and lush. Then they also need air circulation, especially with roses. If you are into rose gardening, roses need air circulation. If they don't, then they start getting the fungi on the leaves, and also the inside branches of the roses get brown because they don't get sun, they don't get air and all that. So keep that in mind. Light penetration is one more thing. If there is not enough light going through the branches to the bottom branches, they start dying up. So suddenly you'll see all the browning coming from the bottom, and top may be nice and green, but this happens. So that is one consideration. And also think about the habit. Is it going to grow tall and upright, or bushy and nice into a shrub, or does it spread? Like spreading can be either by growth or by increasing in plants. Like salvias, they spread. It's a good problem, and sometimes it's not a good problem. Uh, Sometimes it's a problem, sometimes it's good. So see what the habit of the plant is, and is it vining? If it is a vining plant, you may have to give it a support of good trellis. Some plants, some vines are dainty and very light, like clematis. They don't need that much support. But some plants like evergreen wisteria, they need really sturdy support. They grow big and they grow very strong, and you need to give them the support. So these are all the things that you should keep in mind. Soil and mulch. Uh, I strongly believe, I practice this and I do this for all my clients. The first success, the best success you will have is by providing the best soil to start with. So that's the foundation. If you don't do that, you will be spending more money every year. And that is like almost like money being thrown away. So invest more initially in getting good soil and also good mulch. And again, I strongly recommend a native hardwood mulch. And I do not recommend colored dyed mulch. So those are the two things. And some plants require special soil, like roses, azaleas, camellias, gardenias, even clematis. So they all require a little bit of acidic soil. You get ready-made soils for these in the nurseries. So you may want to give them when you get started. You don't have to do it every year. When you plant them, when you're making that hole for the plant, try to fill it with this extra special soil. You can also add acidic fertilizer to make it more, specific for the plant. Hanging baskets, one trick I learned is if you use more perlite or non-soil medium, it not only keeps them lightweight, but also the water gets, more distributed, and it will not like clog the soil. Hanging baskets should be lighter for the simple reason that they are hanging. So, and the same probably will apply for containers. If you are having big pots, try to make them lighter, the soil lighter. And fertilizing. Of course, we all need food, so does plants. So fertilize, most of the soils come with fertilizer already mixed in. So you may want to wait, but then during the growing season, give them more fertilizer. And then sometimes like the plants may look tired by the end of summer, and if you give them a pruning and then give them some food, they will bounce back for fall. So keep that in mind. And these are the fertilizers that I recommend, that I use and I recommend for flowering plants: Osmocote, Nutricolor, and sometimes Miracle Grow. I rarely use Miracle Grow. I use mostly Osmocote, and I also use Microlife liquid seaweed uh, and fish fertilizer. So those are the things. I use them both as foliar spraying and also for root fertilizing. Pruning again, you can do in midsummer when they are more leggy, early fall to encourage more bushiness, and late winter, of course, is the main pruning season. So spring is the easiest season. Now, if you just go to any nursery, everything is like reaching out to us, begging us, please buy me, please take me home. And we cannot, it's so tough to resist the temptation because there's so much color, there's so many beautiful plants out there. So it's very easy. Spring is very easy. But if you want to plan ahead, if you don't want to spend that much money in buying ready-made plants, we can plant in fall. So fall, the previous fall, you can either start the seeds or the bulbs, or you can, get cuttings and start them for spring. That is, of course, most economic way. And also it gives a lot of satisfaction that, oh, I grew this kind of thing. So now we'll talk about some Texas superstars. I moved from East Coast, like Nancy said, and the first few years I struggled because I'm so used to having some plants there that I totally am in love with, like peonies and delphiniums and really big roses and all. And when I came here, I tried growing all this and failed miserably. So then I went to Texas Superstar training because I wanted to know what I can really grow well. And then I discovered that, yeah, there is an answer for everything. So larkspur may not be as lush as delphiniums, but it comes close. It comes in different colors and it reseeds. So you will get more plants next year. And, that is a big plus. It comes in three different colors. And plant the larkspur seeds in fall because they require going through a stratification, a cold period, so that you can get more plants next year. So Laura Bush petunia, of course, we needed to in Texas A&M needed to name something after the bushes. So this is a great plant. We have one, the pink color, and the other tidal wave and cherry petunia. So the pink one I planted, like when I finished the training, I started planting superstar plants in my garden, and they show up every year. So the petunia shows up like in different places in my garden, and I love it. So it looks great in hanging baskets, in the flower bed, in pots, everywhere. So that is, and this combination also looks very well. Of course, lantana is very popular. Builders, contractors use lantana a lot because it is easy to fill the spot. It grows very big, it spreads very quickly, and the color is popping. So there's nothing not to like about it. But again, remember the Turk's cap. Lantanas also like maybe they're at 10. But the thing about lantanas is they attract pollinators, they attract bees a lot, and you may want to plant one or two near your vegetable garden. And this is one of my favorite roses. It's both a landscape, earth kind landscape rose, and also a superstar. So this was my first rose in my Houston garden, and I still have it. I don't do a thing, no spraying, no nothing. I hardly feed it. Every spring, it gives me huge, humongous roses, which are fragrant, which are beautiful. It has both brains and looks. This is a great rose to have. It is a big bush, so give that space. Knockout roses are really, really popular because, again, all the landscapers use knockout roses in public spaces, in the medians, and now is the time they are popping with color everywhere. This red is so attractive. One caution about roses, Dallas had a lot of rose rosette disease. Now it has come to Houston as well. So we are seeing more and more rose rosette. So that disease spreads like wildfire. If one rose gets it, one plant gets it, it spreads to the other roses. And knockout roses are susceptible to that. So keep that in mind when you're buying roses from the garden center. Look around, see if there is any plant with that mottled red shriveled leaves, which indicates, or you can take a picture and both the iPhone and Google Lens both will give you, they tell you what it is. So if you think that it's rose rosette, don't buy roses from that garden center. So go somewhere else. And this is a beautiful small tree for small gardens. Are there any questions?
Someone was
Yes.
just asking, where are the Texas Superstar plants sold?
Okay, I have the list of nurseries at the end of the talk. But Lowe's was our first partner for Texas Superstar, Texas A&M. Now more growers are growing. So you can find them in Lowe's. They have the Aggie brown pot with the Superstar label on them, and they will start getting them soon. And you also have the list of nurseries at the end. Okay, so like Vitex is a small tree and it has these purple flowers. Again, for the East Coast, we have I'm saying they have lilacs. Lilacs are, of course, the only thing lilacs have and Vitex doesn't have is the fragrance. But if you are in Sugarland area or if you have gone to Sugarland Costco, they have they have done wonderful landscaping. They are very, very sustainable landscaping. They used a lot of superstars and they planted Vitex extensively. And once the Vitex start blooming like April, May, it is a carpet of color. So this is a small tree. You can prune it and keep it small. It blooms really well for a month or so. And it's a great tree to have. Okay. Any questions on spring?
No.
Okay. So summer. So our summer can be a little challenging, but again, if you want to be a frugal gardener and if you like to plan ahead and if you like to grow things, plan in spring. You can again start, like for example, you can do the zinnia seeds now, start sprinkling them here and there. Zinnias, phlox, a lot of flowers that bloom in summer, and you will get more plants for your buck. So you can, but you need some planning to do. And also, one of the things that I discovered, and probably many people talked about it before me, but if you have daffodils, tulips are a little tough to grow here, but daffodils grow extremely well, narcissus and daffodil. And now they're almost coming to an end. So their blooming period is ending now. And now you cannot, like, you're not supposed to cut off the green leaves because those leaves as they grow provide the food for the bulb to grow for next season. So you need to continue to have those green leaves until they dry and die in late summer. But it is an eyesore. So what you can do is, once the bulbs stop blooming, yeah, you plan for it and plant something around it, around the bulbs. So they will cover this, the bulb leaves, and you will have new flowers to take over that spot. So this is another great plant, Angelonia serena series. And remember, I'm mentioning also the specific cultivar of the plant. So these are the ones that were tested for Texas Superstar. So there are a lot of Angelonias, but look for serena. It has become very popular now, so it's easy for you to find. And these plants come in various heights, so you can incorporate them throughout your landscape. They come in purple, pink, and white. And so in fall and winter, many people plant petunias, snapdragons, and all those. And snapdragons like start to wean off by May, and you need something to take its place. Angelonias take their place, so that's why they're called summer snapdragons. So you can also prune them a little in late summer, so they will perk up for fall. Great plants to have. Sometimes most of these plants, the superstar site may say these are annuals, but they are behaving like perennials. They are, now the plants are getting very smart. They are getting like freeze resistant. They are not like so, whimpering as before. But now, even though they seem they have died in freeze, they're coming back. So they are getting stronger. Their immune system is getting stronger and they're behaving like perennial plants. Good for us. Pentas. Pentas are again butterfly deep pink pentas. And now the new superstars have other colors also. And you can use them again extensively in your landscape. Beautiful color, beautiful pop of color. So vincas are very popular because, again, landscapers use them extensively. Again, these are Cora series. Regular vincas periwinkle is a little susceptible to disease, but these are bred to be resistant to disease, the leaf spot and all that. So try to buy these, and these are very versatile. You can put them in borders, you can put them in hanging baskets, mixed containers. Container gardening is very satisfying because where you don't have soil, you can still have a garden by having containers. And I have seen vincas come back after winter many, many times. So lantanas is one of my favorite. This is trailing lantana, unlike the regular lantana. So this purple lantana, it comes, trailing lantana comes in both purple and white. And this one is great in hanging baskets as well as landscape edging. Again, builders use this also very well. The extra like distinguishing feature of this plant is that, coming from East Coast, one of the things I still miss, I don't miss many of the flowers now because I found substitutes, but the thing I miss most is the fall colors. Um, but there are still a few things here that, you know, kind of have that fall color. This is one of them. So generally in spring and summer, this lantana has green leaves and of course the purple lilac flowers. But in winter, the leaves turn bronze. And that's a very interesting combination. It's beautiful. I like it. And it comes, I have had it in ground for the last 8 years or maybe, yeah. And it's still coming back. And I cannot recommend salvias enough. Any gardener that wants pollinators should have different kinds of salvias in their garden. Of course, salvias can be invasive in the sense that they pop up everywhere. Of course, it's also a great plant to give as gifts because you have so much excess. You can also move them where you need to move them. And bees love salvias. So plant them where your fruit trees are, where your edibles, veggies are, and you will get a lot of bees. And salvias, there are so many varieties. There are tall salvias, Mexican sage, that's also a superstar. Mystic spice is a superstar. There is, I think I may have the slide. I don't know if I have it or not. If I don't, I'll talk about it. But all these salvias are great. And guess what? They're also one of the first plants to come back after freeze. And they come back so healthy, so quickly. Right after the freeze, they're out of the ground. So I highly recommend salvias. Of course, you need to keep them clean because they need some pruning now and then. Otherwise, they look a little tired, but it's a great investment. So Gomphrena is also a very nice plant to have. It has those nice little goblets of globes of flowers. It comes in 3 colors. And it also, now there is also a sparkler Gomphrena, which is like, it doesn't have that many leaves and it's taller, so you can use it behind the rocks as a rock garden plant. And in summer, the leaves do look brownish. Again, give them a haircut, and in fall, they will revive. And Gomphrenias also come back after the freeze. And fall, again, if you want to plan early, plant in summer for fall blooms, you can have one more round of zinnias for the fall. And some of the summer plants perk up in fall. And if you want an easy way, you can propagate more plants. In summer, take some of the cuttings and root them either in water or put them in soil. But when you are rooting them, try to put them in part shade. Don't put them in full sun. And once they are rooted, you can plant them. So all these plants are very easy to root. And plumbago is a very unique plant in the sense that it has that light baby blue flowers. And I live in New Territory, and our builders like HOA has used plumbago very extensively in the common areas. And it comes back every year, and it is very nice when it is blooming. Of course, it also gets leggy, so keep pruning it away, and you will still get good plants. So one thing I noticed is it seems to bloom much better if it has some afternoon shade. So if you want some pairings, you can do that red salvias with this blue plumbago. They look stunning. And this is one more thing that has multi-season interest, like fall interest. This is Duranta, Brazilian sky flower, it is called. So each flower is tiny, but it has the raceme, the long flower bunch, and the flowers are very beautiful. Bees love it. And then in fall, you get this beautiful golden berries, and birds love them. And they also look terrific in flower arrangements. Of course, Esperanza is very Mexican, very Texan, and the color is so attractive. I saw Esperanza do well both in full sun and part shade. If you are not looking for an evergreen hedge, this is a great one to have as a hedge. Any questions so far?
Yes, we've got a
Okay.
couple. Nancy, maybe you can help me find them.
There's, Sam had a question. She said, in addition to zinnias and phlox, what other flower seeds do you recommend we start now for summer, either outdoors or indoor in a grow rack?
So you can do the Gomphrena. Gomphrena goes very well. And you can do what else seeds? I have to think. You can do Shasta daisy.
Mhm.
Any kind of daisies you can do. You can do marigolds for sure. There are so many varieties in that. You have tall varieties and short varieties that'll do well in summer and fall. And marigolds are good pairing for a lot of vegetables. I think some of those things that come into mind.
Another question.
And also cosmos, sorry. You can do cosmos.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Another question. Someone just received some daffodil bulbs with leaves, and they're asking, should I plant them now or wait till fall?
Daffodil bulbs with leaves means they bought the plants and now the flowering is done and they are left with the bulb.
The bulbs were given to them.
Yeah, okay. So if they have leaves, yeah, you can plant them. Don't cut the leaves, plant them in your garden. Mark them because you will forget where you planted them, and they will come back next year. For this year, they are done. And also, if you bought paper whites, narcissus from store, or if somebody gave you, same thing. Plant them. Don't throw them away because the flowering is done. Plant them. Same thing with amaryllis. Amaryllis, a lot of people must have bought from stores. Plant those bulbs. They will come back.
There's a question, does Hemilia come back after the freeze? Mine still appears to be dead.
Hemilia, the plant that is on the screen now.
I think so.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So Hemilia is very, very sure plant to come back. It is very hardy. One of my most favorite plants. I was going to talk about it. So it comes back every year. It grows into a big bush. It comes with this, I think this green is called chartreuse. I don't know if I'm saying that right or wrong, but it's that nice bright green, and it has these tubular flowers. So I experimented with not providing the hummingbirds the nectar, and they still came to my garden because I had crossvine, I had hemilias, and I had Lonicera, the honeysuckle. So and salvia. So they come back. They come for the flowers, and this is called the hummingbird bush because hummingbirds love it. And in fall, it changes color to bronze. Again, like the Brazilian sky flower. This also, no, like the lantana. This also changes color in fall.
Another
So
question.
yeah,
Any flowering plant recommendations for part shade and full shade?
yeah. That's a totally different class which will be coming up. Please come for the class. Shade plants, but you can I'll be talking about it actually further down on the slides. Camellias do well, ligularias do well. There are a lot of plants that you can grow under your oak trees. We'll talk about them later.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure. So the next one is Thryallis or shower of gold. You can see how why it gets its name, the tiny gold flowers. And this is a big shrub and you can grow it also as a hedge. It does lose its leaves if it is too cold, but sometimes it remains evergreen. Great plant. So now we come to the challenging season, winter. And a lot of people, I heard this so many times. Actually, two times I hear this. One is like in December, January. The other one is in February, March. December, I hear that, oh, I have nothing in my garden. In February, March, I hear everything died. So those are the two things I hear so many times. If you follow these principles, you will not say those two things ever again. So winter is not the end of the gardening season, at least here in Houston. It is end in many places in the US, but not here. We can, some of the plants are, I don't know if I have Texas superstars for winter, but we'll see. And there are perennial plants that give us long-term color, and we can also add some seasonal color. We'll see what we can do in winter. So pansies, who doesn't know about pansies? And now they have so many varieties of pansies. It's not the same old boring colors. They have double colors. They have double pansies. Costco is selling this hanging basket of rose pansies and petunias. So those two are winter flowers. And you can see everything else looks a little brownish, but these pansies and petunias are thriving in winter. Yeah, question?
Yes, we have a question. What kinds of plants or flowers are cat and snake or rodent resistant?
Snake, I don't think I know of any plant. I don't know actually that is resistant to snake. And rodents also, I don't know because rodents come and eat my eggplants. So other than putting traps, I don't know if there are plants that are resistant. I know deer resistant, um, but I don't know, sorry. If I know, I'll put it in email for you guys to take, send it to them.
Thank you. Well, one other question was, what flowers are edible?
Oh, again, that's a whole different class. But edible marigolds are called poor man's saffron. And you can use the leaves, you can use the petals on your salads, on anything. And nasturtiums, they are like so edible. They are spicy, they are very nice, they are beautiful flowers. And you can also use pansies, they are edible. And what else are edible? Lavender, of course, is edible. Uh, Roses are edible. Lot of things to do with roses. So those are some of the examples.
Thank you.
Yeah. So fall zinnias. So zinnias now they are bred so extremely so popular. You can have zinnias in all seasons, but in fall now our fall is sometimes fall is like summer. So they do look brown, but you can either like give them a haircut and add a few more. You can also so easy to save the petals, which become seeds for later planting. And sometimes if you buy the zinnias from the store, They may be sterile, so you may not get plants, but check for that. But you can buy the seeds and plant zinnias. So plant in late summer or early fall, and they stay there until frost. Profusion and Zahara, those are the two series that are like Texas superstars. They're disease resistant and pollinator. They also get a lot of bees. And this is a plant that is not used very much in our area, but it should be. I'm very happy to see it in some of the public places. This is Possum Haw Holly. Again, this is a superstar. And it has this, if you want a Christmas plant, like, it is full of berries, like just like hollies. I love hollies. So fabulous fall color without any leaves, you can see that, but don't plant it closer to the house because it may have some thorns and birds love it. And the berries stay through the winter. So this is not a superstar, but this is one of my most favorite plants, Ligularia. It is also called tractor seed because if you can see the leaves, they are like a seed, and they are almost evergreen, and beautiful, beautiful plants as understories. That means they will not do well in full sun. They means they do okay, but they get brown very easily. And I have them in front of my house under the oak trees. And New Territory has done a great job. They planted mass of Ligularia under the trees on the sidewalks, near the sidewalks, and they are doing extremely well. The leaves are glossy green, very shiny. And in winter, when you think that nothing is blooming, these guys come up with these tall spikes of yellow flowers. So last year I did protect my Ligularia with a frost cloth, and they remained nice and healthy. Great plant to have. And they also, after a few years, they start giving you babies, so you can plant them. You can also divide. That is another trick that you can do for with mini plants. You can dig them up and divide them and spread them in your garden or share them with your friends. So this is something, of course, not in our books, but I have it in my garden, Hong Kong orchid tree. It is a tropical, like semi-tropical tree, and it grows very fast. This is one of my best investments. I bought it from Cornelius, spending $100, which I thought was obscene amount of money for a plant, about 8, 9 years ago. And it's in the ground. It grows 20 feet in one season. And this is a winter to spring bloomer. It starts blooming in about November. The leaves are very beautiful, and the flowers are even more beautiful, and they even have fragrance. So the tree is filled with these pink big flowers, and it is beautiful. But the only problem is in the last few seasons, when it is in full bloom, we are hit by the freeze. And tree is so big, I cannot cover it. So that's the sad thing, but at least I get to enjoy a few weeks of blooms. And if there is no freeze, I get to enjoy a few months of blooms. So this is Hong Kong orchid tree. And camellias. Camellias, I cannot stress enough. Everybody should have camellias in their gardens. We are in the south, and this is called Southern Belle. We cannot grow peonies. Of course, camellias, most of the camellias don't have fragrance. This is the first year I have a fragrant camellia in my garden. But these camellias do extremely well in part shade. And there are two varieties. There is a big article I wrote about camellias, how to grow them and all that. It is too much to go into in this talk. But once they are established, uh, I'm getting flowers. They started in December, January, February, March. Now it is March. We're almost done with March, and they're still blooming. So camellias are a very good investment. And I wanted to share these two plants about I planted this kangaroo paw last year. You'll see this in Lowe's all the time. I was just curious, so I planted this. This is my one of my new beds, and I put a bucket on it during the freeze. I was thinking, oh, this is from Australia, it's not going to survive here. But then now, this is now, it is blooming now. So I was so thrilled to see this. This is a unique plant. So if you want to have a, a plant that is very unique, this you can try this plant, kangaroo paw. And this is another one I highly recommend. This is called Lysianthus and Eustoma. You see this as part of floral bouquets all the time. And we get most of the flowers come from either Colombia or some places like that. So the first time I saw this and I started growing them was in Caldwell. So people note down that name, the nursery in Rosenberg. So Caldwell was the first place where I found these plants some 10 years ago, and I got smitten. And she had uh, these plants for $2 each in various colors. So I got them and they bloomed. And every year I used to buy them. And a couple of times I tried to grow from seeds. It didn't work because they need a lot of different stages of the seeds. You need to keep them in the fridge and all those things. Even though I did, it didn't work. So this year also I got the plants because I went to Antique Rose Emporium and I saw them there and I got some plants. But last year I got plugs. So when I asked Caldwell Katie, now she's not there anymore. She said she also gets the plugs because they are nursery people, they get in big quantity. So she also get the plugs. Plugs are tiny plants that these growers grow and they sell to like nurseries. And you can also buy the plugs. I bought the plugs from Burpees. Burpees is a very famous online nursery based in Pennsylvania. So I got the plugs from Burpees last year. And guess what? They are thriving. They didn't die in freeze. I didn't even cover them. They all came back. This year I bought some more. And these are very beautiful. Give them a little bit of shade. They grow tall. Give them some support. And look at those flowers. It's unique. You can really impress your friends with these plants. And these are all free survivors. I already talked about them, so we will go through them. Purple Lantana, Belinda's Dream, all of these. Henry and Augusta Duelberg Salvia, I didn't talk about it, but they are Texas superstars and they come back every year. And this is a beautiful Texas superstar. It's almost evergreen and it blooms on the old wood. So when you're pruning, don't prune away everything. I have built the trellis, the round trellis, and it is almost blooming now. So this is a great wine to have. And of course, Hemelia is a survivor. And cross wine is a definite partner for hummingbirds. This is outside my yoga studio, so when I'm teaching, so suddenly I see a hummingbird dip its nose into this cross wine, the flowers, and it is beautiful color, and it is a great plant to have, and comes back without fail. And Althea is a relatively new superstar, and there are several colors. And this is also one of the first plants that comes up after the freeze. And now you can see this is from my garden. So you can see how you can have flowers throughout the seasons. Late winter, early spring, I have camellias. Then I didn't talk about Mexican flame vine, another Texas superstar. It is already coming back up. And daffodils. And gerbera is one of the things that is again a surprise. It is perennial. It comes back every year. So now all the nurseries have them and plant it in a little bit of shade, not full sun. They say it's full sun, but I found out that maybe it's better in part shade. And of course, this is again daffodil, the white one. So this is late winter, early spring. And spring of course is easy. We have petunias, Belinda's Dream Rose, and Henry Duelberg Salvia. Julia Child Rose also is earth kind and superstar. And John Fanick phlox is one of the only phlox that has fragrance, and it multiplies as well. Moy Grande hibiscus, you do not find it in trade in nurseries, not very often. I got it from a grower, and I have had it for 10 plus years. And summer, butterfly vine, I talked about it, and blue days, again, superstar, Hamelia, Gomphrena, trailing lantana, Mexican petunia, also a superstar. It comes in purple, pink, and white. It is invasive, not it can be, it is invasive, but it also is a filler up. So it fills your beds very quickly if you are looking for something like that. So that's summer. And winter, what do we have in winter? We have in November, fall zinnias, October, Duranta, the Brazilian skyflower, mums. So fall mums are prolific. They grow throughout the season. Of course, they don't do anything through the season. Maybe you can use the leaves for floral arrangement and things like that. But they start blooming in fall, and it's beautiful. Plumbago, and we talked about orchid, and the Phalaenopsis also is a Texas superstar. I was surprised to hear that because it's one of the easiest orchid to grow, even for people like me who killed a lot of orchids. I can grow it. So that's all from me. And these are some of the nurseries that you can find. Superstar plants, Enchanted Gardens and Forest, Caldwell, Buchanan's, Joshua's, Plants for All Seasons, and also Lowe's. So definitely check out Lowe's. So we would appreciate very much if you guys can scan this QR code and give us your input, because the more you tell us what you like and what you don't like, the better we can give you the programs. We can tweak some programs, we can add new topics. So if you give us, and also about speakers, about the topics. So please give us your input and we will try our best to give you what you're looking for. So I'm done with my talk. And you can open your mics. If there are any questions on the chat, let me first do those. You can now enable I will stop sharing so the videos can be on. And if there are questions in the chat, I can answer them. And after that, you can also unmute yourself and ask any questions.
We had one question: when should leopard plants be planted?
You can plant them pretty much anytime, but make sure the area is good for them, like part shade. Morning sun is good, afternoon sun is not that good.
Okay. What is the best soil for camellias?
So again, acidic soil, you can use rose soil. You will get very easy to get rose soil, and also use the camellia specific fertilizer. The time to fertilize camellias is like maybe October, November. They don't need much pruning because they are very slow growers. They don't grow very fast, but fertilize them before the season starts and during the season.
Okay. There was a question on the Hong Kong orchard tree. I was wondering whether it was evergreen or is it dormant in the spring, fall?
So I talked about it. It is, if we don't get freezes, it is okay for up to 35, 40. But if it gets into 20s, it does suffer. It loses all the blooms, it loses all the leaves, and the wood dies, but it comes back from the freeze. If the freeze is relatively mild, it stays evergreen.
Okay, we're getting quite a few questions at the end here. People were asking, will the slides be available via email? The recording will be available via email. And we will also have all of the websites that Suma provided listed as well. Um, in cold freezing temperatures, what is the best thing to cover plants with?
So experimented with several things. One of the things that works very well if we have patience is um, in addition to having freeze cloth, if you have the Christmas lights, run them under the cloth, and that keeps the temperature a little higher. And before you cover, uh, the advice that Deborah, our specialist in freeze protection, gave us to heal up the plants, the roots and plants as much as possible with compost. And I discovered that even for papayas, I did that. They are very tender. So whichever height I covered them with compost, they remain green, even without covering. So, but cover, top the surround it by compost and then cover. That will give you a lot more protection.
Excellent, thank you. Someone, Kathleen, is asking for advice. She says, I have a Japanese bloodgood that comes back every year, but it is not growing tall at all. I'm not, because she has a question of why it's not growing tall.
Okay, I don't know what is Japanese bloodgood.
I don't know either. But Kathleen, if you could unmute, perhaps you could pose your question better to Suma.
Oh, is it? Are you talking about Japanese maple?
Kathleen, are you there?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so if it is maple,
Hi.
okay, no problem. So that's one of the things I missed from East Coast. The maples are so beautiful. It is very tough to grow them here just because of the heat. And unless you find them the right spot, it is tough to grow them. I did see them in some yards, but again, in the front yards as understory, like under the trees. It's a catch-22 because the more sun they get, the darker the leaves, the more color they get. And here the sun is so fierce, they die. So that's why it's tough to grow maples here. That's the only thing I know about maples because
So one of landscapers suggested that I plant it, so I bought it. It hasn't grown tall at all, but it's flat. I mean, it survived like both freezes, and it's coming back, but it's not growing at all. Like now the leaves are back and they're just beautiful, but it's just the tree is just so tiny, and it's on our front yard, which is facing east. So should I move it or should I just leave it, or is it gonna stay like that?
So if you want to try it, why don't you put it in a container
Container?
and then you can start moving it. Try a few different places.
Okay.
Maybe in summer you can move it a little inwards and and see
Yeah.
how that does.
I was thinking that was gonna be my next. I was thinking about that, maybe just uprooting it and then just put it in
Yeah.
the pot because it survived the freeze, which was, both of them. But
No, they are cold plants. It's not the question of surviving. They need the cold.
it's just, and then the leaf, like even though it's east facing, the leaves burn because I guess it's just too much sun. It's just, so that's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. I will probably, uproot it and repot it somewhere else. Thank you. Great presentation. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you.
Suma, Brandon had a question. He says he has some Julia Child roses that amazing bloom all the time, but suffering with black spot. Any tips, tricks, or advice?
So black spot means unconventional remedy is spraying diluted milk. Apparently works, but the Houston Rosarian Society gave the name of a chemical deterrent, which I don't remember, but she said that's the only thing that will work with black spots. You have to spray every so often.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
If anyone else has any questions for
I see
Suma?
one more question from Sagar. He's asking about crossvine, and I did talk about crossvine. And yes, Jessica has already answered him. Yeah, it grows very well. It also spreads, and that is a hummingbird attractor. Okay, anything else? Anybody want to unmute and ask anything? Grow the orchids outside? Yeah, orchids are typically they are grown under the trees in tropical countries. So if you have big trees, you can hang them under because they love the humidity, or you can do it in porches, but not in direct sun. Okay. Okay. I think that's it, right?
I've seen one question about propagating camellias.
Oh, okay. So I did go to Louisiana last fall, and they have the country's largest camellia garden. I wanted to go in bloom time, but I didn't get to do that. But I saw it, and I'm going to try that. So they were air layering camellias. So air layering is using either peat moss or sphagnum moss and creating a basket around the branch, and and adding some soil also. So that will create roots wherever you put that basket. So that's air layering. And I'm going to try that. I have not tried it, but that's what they were doing.
Someone would just put in, you talked about papaya. All mine died in the frost. How do you
Yeah.
keep them?
Yeah, so papayas and bananas and the again, I followed Debbie's. She has. Please come to the freeze protection workshop, all of you. So she suggested this method, and I tried it, and also for moringa. So I tried it, and it worked. I put the compost as high as possible on the papaya trunk, and put a cardboard around it, and then I put freeze cloth all around it, and it remained green until that place, because you can't, means you can cover if you want to, you can cover the whole tree, but I did not. So the top died, but it came back very easily. All these plants like papaya and moringa and banana.
Okay. Brandon just asked, do geraniums do well here season long?
So geraniums do well, but again, in our summer, it's too hot for them. So if you want to keep them in pots and bring them into the porch in summer, take them back, that might be good. Or if you're planting in ground, I did plant some in the ground. If you get a little bit of afternoon shade, that will be better.
Move up in the unemployment rate. And so when people say, will the Fed act, they'll act, but they'll be more reactive than proactive.
Sorry, I did not get that.
Put in the S&P.
Suma, this is
Ah,
Ratna.
Okay, hi Ratna.
How are you? I'm enjoying your talk.
Thank you.
My Belinda's dream, I don't know what happened. It was doing very well. But in the winter, the stems turned completely black and the tree rotted. So
Oh.
I had to pull it out. So I don't, is it too much water in that particular spot, or can you think of
Do you
things?
have a sprinkler like problem in that area, or it
I,
might be just fungus? I don't know. I have not seen that happen, but
uh,
the third reason, maybe it's not getting enough water. So it can be one of those things, because Belinda's dream is pretty resilient.
That's what I thought, and it was
Yeah,
doing so well, but
yeah,
something happened this winter, and I was so sad I had to pull it out. It was
yeah,
completely rotted.
yeah.
I'm going to check the water system. I thought maybe it's getting too much water. It didn't.
Okay.
So just okay, thanks. And where do you get your camellias? Best place?
So camellias, I got from a grower. Those
Mm.
are my first camellias. So it's only for wholesale, not retail, because I do garden designs.
Right,
I
right.
buy
Yeah.
the But last time I also got some from Louisiana just because I happened to be there. And Louisiana is the camellia capital. So
Okay.
you can buy them anywhere. You can buy them in Houston Garden Center and Enchanted. And
Okay.
now if you buy after season, they may be cheaper.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Truly enjoy your talk each time you speak.
Thank you.
I was also asking about the hydrangea. I just saw the question. Can you answer that question, please?
What question? Any
Yes.
advice? I'm new here and
Brandon just asked about
yeah,
hydrangeas.
so yeah, I also miss hydrangeas and hydrangeas are very tricky to grow here in Houston and I do miss them. They love the cold and they grow very well in the East Coast. So again, try the hydrangeas in various places in your garden, but definitely not in full sun. If you have a tree, try to plant them under the trees.
Hey, what's up?
I went to 2 Walmarts, the big one.
Okay.
So yeah, it is tough. I cannot say you can easily grow hydrangeas, even though they look great. Even if you go to Enchanted, you see them in the shade area, not out in the open.
Hi, Suma. It's
Hi,
Samia. How
Samira.
are you? Hi, how are
Good.
you? Great presentation, by the way.
Thank
Um,
you.
Thank you. I'm wondering, when do I start camellias, not camellias, calendula seeds and nasturtiums? They're new to my garden, so.
Okay, so nasturtiums, both it'll be late too soon. So
Okay.
you can start like 2 months before.
Okay, I did in my garden a month ago
Okay.
after the freeze, but I
Okay.
didn't know. I have seedlings, but I don't know if they're too late and they're just going to fizzle out or what.
So are they
So-
blooming now?
No, they're just little seedlings. They've got a few sets of true
Oh,
leaves.
okay. Yeah,
So
yeah.
they're
We
young.
have, yeah, we have
you know.
couple more months. I will be fine.
Oh, good, good, good,
Yeah.
good. Yeah, I'll plant. Can I plant some more at this time or is it a little late? Little late, right?
Calendulas, the season will be over, so I think it'll be like late. But if you
Mhm.
have a little shaded area, you can do. But generally they are done with spring.
Okay,
But now
Fall?
you can still try to grow.
Okay. I have a couple dozen up, so I'm hoping I'll get
Okay.
them. They're falling out of my raised beds on the edges is where I'd like to have them,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a
Yeah,
attractor,
they're
and you can
lovely.
eat them.
Yeah.
I'm excited. And they have pink
Yes.
ones now. So anyway, all right. Thank you very much, Suma.
Yeah.
Okay. Suma, the questions are winding down. Lots
Okay.
of compliments for a great presentation. I'm going to stop the recording now.
Okay.